20 साल पहले आपने यही बात की थी ना, हाथ खींच लूंगा जेल चला जाएगा। खींच लो अपना हाथ, चला जाऊंगा मैं जेल। फिर 20 साल में कुछ नहीं बदला हमारे बीच।
When the father stops him and saying that the same thing what he wrote when he was a kid, he's saying it now. Ranbir gives a kind of expression, what is the point if you understood now?
We all know Sandeep Reddy Vanga's movies are full of legendary scenes, but perhaps his most sophisticated use of emotional suspense isn't one that ends in a violent reaction. I love that stuff, all the massy moments, all the action sequences. But this one, the father-son roll sap sequence, is actually one of my favorite scenes from his movies.
बाप हूं मैं तेरा. I'm your father and you are my son. And this is not a game.
I couldn't be happier with the effect it has on an audience. That intense, dead silent tension, followed by a heated exchange, gradually tapering off into a sudden emotional burst.
सुनाई दे रहा है, बेरा नहीं हूं मैं।
For many reasons, Animal is one of the most remarkable films I've ever seen. From a filmmaking perspective, it's a cinematic masterpiece, marking a clear divide in Indian cinema, the pre-Animal and the post-Animal era. Now hearing this, a lot of you will probably stop watching the video right about now. Let's continue. The entire movie is packed with so many incredible scenes that we could dissect each one for hours. Which is why today I am focusing on how Sandeep masterfully builds tension and moves us emotionally through what I consider his most well-articulated scene. Because if the entire film feels like a love letter to classics like The Godfather and Goodfellas, this particular scene stands as its stark opposite.
What? मैं वेट करता रहा.
विजय थिंक बियॉन्ड बर्थडे। लाइफ में कुछ बन रहा है कि नहीं?
But before we dive into what makes it so chilling, let's get some context. Animal is, at its core, a love story between a father and son. No matter what elements captivated audiences and drove the film's success, it was this story, this deep, complex connection that became the film's foundation. This isn't just my interpretation, it's something Sandeep himself confirmed in his interview with Ram Gopal Verma.
I'm sure you would have told the story to maybe some people, some close people. Did it ever occur to you that this can go really wrong?
Sir, I narrated this to Ranbir and my brother. They loved it, sir. Sole point of the film is the love story between father and son. If that goes wrong, everything will go wrong.
So let's focus solely on the two central characters, Balbir Singh the father and Ranvijay or Vijay Singh the son.
मेरा नाम है रणविजय सिंह बलबीर.
Right from the beginning, we are shown that Balbir is an emotionally absent father. His son Vijay desperately seeks his attention, but Balbir has no time for him. The scene where young Vijay says,
थर्ड ग्रेड के फाइनल एग्जाम्स के बाद मैं पहली बार मिलने वाला था अपने फादर से. I really love my father.
Sets up this missing emotional connection perfectly. Here's a child who looks like he's in the 4th grade, yet he hasn't seen his father for over a year. Imagine what that does to him, what's missing from his life. He's someone who will go to any length to prove his presence in his father's world. Now Balbir does care about his son, but not enough to express it openly. He's aware of his emotional shortcomings, but doesn't believe in regrets.
Children need love, Balbir.
तो फिर क्या बोलूं? गलती हो गई मुझसे. I don't believe in regrets.
Neither does your son.
Vijay, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. His love for his father is overwhelming, almost consuming, and he'll do anything to protect him. From distributing chocolates in his classroom to having an extramarital affair with Zoya, every action subtly reinforces just how deeply he craves his father's attention. When Gitanjali questions him about his father,
"You won't be like your father, right?"
Vijay's response is nothing short of chilling.
What do you mean I won't be like my father? My father is the best father in the world.
It clearly shows that in his mind, his father can do no wrong, there's no flaw, no conflict, nothing negative between them. What's even more striking is that throughout the entire movie, there are countless moments where Balbir could have paused, reached out and hugged his son. But do you know that there's not a single scene in the entire film where Balbir and Vijay share a hug? Not one scene. And that absence speaks louder than words. You can see this dichotomy in the two characters, and in some way, they represent the central dichotomy of the film, which is precisely what makes the father-son role swap scene so captivating. When news broke that Sandeep was making a film with Ranbir Kapoor, and that too after stating in Anupama Chopra's interview,
"We look forward to seeing what you do next. Hopefully it will generate less criticism."
It will be more. It will be more because these guys are calling this film as a violent film. I want to tell them, I'll show them what violent film will be.
Many wondered how he would approach it, especially with all the criticism following Kabir Singh. But Sandeep took apart all those doubts, weaving together scenes that form a compelling story driven by an engaging screenplay and a mind-blowing background score. But I'm digressing here. The real focus is on how the dynamic between Balbir and Vijay shifts dramatically when Balbir gets shot. Vijay vows to take revenge because, as we know, he will do anything to protect his father. Fast forward, Abrar is killed and Vijay's revenge feels complete, symbolized powerfully in the scene where Vijay places a knife in Balbir's hand. This moment isn't just about vengeance, it's about seeking validation and proving his word to the one person who matters most. All this pretext positions the audience perfectly, leaving us to wonder what's left, what more could this story have to offer? And that's when we reach the scene. It answers one of the film's two lingering questions. What has Vijay always wanted? With a childlike joy, he responds,
I've always wanted to spend time with you. That's all I want in my life. Chalte na holiday pe.
And just when we, the audience, are calmed into a false sense of emotional security, Sandeep pulls the rug from under us with an unexpected twist.
Okay. Balbir Singh, 68, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, 4th stage.
क्या ये कब हुआ ये?
कल ही पता चला। डॉक्टर्स का कहना है कि 3 से 6 महीने का ही वक्त है मेरे पास।
Disengaging us completely and hitting us where it hurts the most. Clinging to hope, Vijay insists on taking Balbir to America, believing there's still a chance to cure him. But Balbir remains indifferent, dismissing the idea and taunting Vijay.
Be practical. This is not something you can solve with gun and violence.
Ever since the gun-firing incident at Reed's college happened, Balbir has been convinced that deep down Vijay is a criminal.
मैं जानता हूँ तूने आज तक जो कुछ भी किया वो इसलिए किया क्योंकि अंदर से तू एक क्रिमिनल है और कुछ भी नहीं.
This accusation isn't just a harsh judgment, it's the emotional wound that defines their relationship, adding yet another layer of tension to an already fractured bond. And it's this very wound that paves the way for the heart of the scene, the role swap.
Alright पापा, let's play a game. मैं पापा और आप बेटा. Stay with me. पूरी जिंदगी का तो नहीं कर सकते और टाइम भी कम है ना आपके पास, तो एक ही दिन का करते, okay?
Vijay knows his father is dying. Time is slipping away and he doesn't have the luxury of endless days to spend with him. So he chooses one day from his memory.
आपको याद है 5th स्टैंडर्ड में था और माइकल जैक्सन का कॉन्सर्ट हो रहा था बॉम्बे में. यू न्यू व्हाट अ बिग फैन आई वाज ऑफ माइकल जैक्सन. मेरे सारे दोस्त जा रहे थे एंड यू ऑर्गेनाइज्ड टिकट्स फॉर मी, पर मैं नहीं गया क्योंकि आपका बर्थडे था. उसी दिन का करते, ओके?
The tension in the scene is palpable, with Balbir struggling to recall the events of that day. It's clear he doesn't remember, and Vijay knows it all. Vijay sets the stage with the same attitude and swagger his father once displayed, mirroring Balbir's dominance, but this time he doesn't hold back.
सुनाई दे रहा है, बेरा नहीं हूं मैं.
The way he shouts at his father, just as Balbir did when Vijay was a child, is both powerful and deeply unsettling to watch. Outside the room, Vijay's mother stands crying, a silent yet heart-wrenching symbol of helplessness. For the first time, we see Vijay relentlessly questioning Balbir, painting a vivid, almost graphic picture of that forgotten day. He oscillates between accusing his father and sarcastically applauding him for how convincingly he is acting through the confrontation.
You're doing well, Papa. You're doing well. Continue.
But the most disturbing moment, the one that truly shook me, is when Vijay slaps himself to recreate how Balbir slapped him as a child. It's raw, jarring and emotionally gut-wrenching. Balbir, unable to endure the emotional onslaught, repeatedly says,
Enough, Vijay. Enough, Vijay.
Eventually refusing to continue playing his part in this harrowing role reversal.
इतनी जल्दी हार मान ली आपने?
I always believed it is the scenes which work, not so much the story.
Let's apply this concept to this scene. Sandeep masterfully crafts the opening by showcasing Vijay's happiness, his heartfelt desire to spend time with his father, and how that joy is abruptly shaken when he learns about Balbir's illness. From there, the scene tightens, escalating into an emotionally charged confrontation, pulling in memories from the past and finally culminating in the most pivotal moment of the film, the answer to its most profound, most emotionally resonant question.
आपको पता है मैं आपको इतना प्यार क्यों करता हूं? इसका कोई जवाब ही नहीं है.
One of the reasons why this scene is effective is that even after Vijay pours his heart out, lamenting about never receiving attention from his father, Balbir remains steadfast in his beliefs. You expect him to break down, to feel sorry immediately, but instead, we hear his buried desires.
Swastik was my life. मैं अपना एम्पायर तुझे देना चाहता था. And you just walked out, just like that. 8 साल मैंने तुझसे बात नहीं की. तू भी तो मुझसे कर सकता था. तेरे बच्चे हुए, नाम, फोटोज, घर में सबको पता था सिवाय मेरे.
But like father, like son, Vijay doesn't hold back either. In his mind, this is the first real conversation he is having with his father. He matches Balbir's emotional intensity, firing back with the same raw honesty.
ये सारे सवाल मैं आपसे पूछूं तो छोड़ो पापा, आप फिर से जीत जाओगे. क्योंकि मैं शिकायत करना शुरू करूंगा तो मेरी शिकायतें खत्म होने से पहले आप मर जाओगे. हमेशा की तरह मेरी पूरी बात सुने बिना.
And then, without explicitly saying sorry, we finally sense Balbir's regret. How he wished he had never sent Vijay away. That at the very least, he should have spent time with his son, talked to him, in rhetoric, understood him. Once Vijay leaves the room, you would think the scene is over, but that's not what happens. Sandeep doesn't let us off that easily. there's a brief, deceptive moment of calm, just enough for the audience to catch their breath, before he pulls us right back into the emotional whirlpool by reintroducing a key red herring, the letter young Vijay wrote to his father on his birthday.
पापा, अगले जन्म में आप मेरा बेटा बनना, फिर देखना मैं कैसे आपको प्यार करता हूँ।
और वो हर एक गलती जो मैंने की है तू मत करना,
क्योंकि उसके अगले जन्म में वापस मैं बेटा और आप पापा। तब ना पापा, अपनी तरह से प्यार करना, मेरे तरह से नहीं।
फिर देखना मैं तुझसे कितना प्यार करूंगा। तब तू शान से कहना कि माय फादर इज द बेस्ट फादर इन द वर्ल्ड।
When the father stops him and saying that the same thing what he wrote when he was a kid, he's saying it now. Ranbir gives a kind of expression, what is the point if you understood now?
And in the very next moment, instead of breaking down in his father's arms like the audience expects, Vijay breaks down crying in the arms of Mishra uncle. Right from the beginning, Sandeep ensures that there is not a single scene where Balbir and Vijay share a hug. It's a haunting reminder of how twisted and forsaken their bond truly is. Sandeep's mastery lies in this emotional roller coaster. First, he keeps us in tension. Then he scares us with his emotional vulnerability. Finally, he offers relief, but not where we expect it. And that relief comes in the film's closing moments. When Vijay's son runs from the car to hug him, it's the only father-son hug in the entire movie. It marks the beginning of a new chapter, a break in the cycle of emotional neglect. This scene doesn't just end, it lingers, gnawing at the edges of your mind long after the credits roll. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from us. We have got more iconic scenes coming up to discuss. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.